Alrighty, welcome. We're about to jump into P2P client and server. We're going to create a TCP listener, which is the server, and we're going to create a TCP client. We're going to be able to handle multiple clients. No problem with that. We'll be able to loop through, be a total chat engine or a total multiplayer engine or both, whatever you want, whatever you're looking for. We're doing this in we're writing our code in a Windows Form application because we want to be able to, I'm targeting Unity, Monogame, and Godot, whatever. We're targeting all of them. So we're going to create a small Windows Form project, bookmark this video, save this video. I don't care. Do something, like and subscribe. That would be great. And by doing that, you can come back and reference it because we're going to have to go into the firewall. We're going to have to open up a port on our local client computer, and we're going to have to open up a port on my server computer, which is another computer. It's just another Windows computer. It's not actually a server, but it will represent our server computer. And you're going to have to, actually in your install program, for whatever you're writing, you're going to have to modify those. But while you're developing, if you're watching this video, you're probably not that experienced with this stuff. So you need to delete or unblock, or you need to reblock those ports after we get finished with the tutorial. It only takes like a minute to do both computers. It depends on how long the control panel comes up. That's all you're waiting for. So every day while you're working on it, you're going to reblock the ports because you really don't want a security hazard. And since you don't know that much about this stuff yet, you probably feel a lot more secure if you reblock them at the end of the day. And because of that, you need to come back to this video possibly because you will forget how to do it. And to re-unblock them when you're working on this. This is not going to be an extremely long tutorial. It may hit an hour and a half, but that's about it. We're going to play with it a lot. We're going to create our Windows Forms project. Then we're going to create our listener, which is our server. Then we are going to create our client. I will run the server when we go to test it and open up our ports, unblock our ports. I'll run the server on my other computer. I will run the client on this computer and on that computer. And we will have multiple clients, and we'll see basically a chat engine, a simple chat engine that has a bunch of text boxes. So let's get to it. Like and subscribe if you get something out of these. The code will not be posted to GitHub. Instead, I'm doing a code review at the end of the video. Somebody came to my videos, paused them, jumped to the code link, downloaded the code, and came back and closed the video so that I didn't get a view. That's strange. I'm really not worried about the views, but it really ticked me off at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm no longer posting my code to GitHub. I'm going to be uploading the code review, the literal code review here, where I show the code about 5 seconds each, where people can pause and look at the code and copy down the code. Instead of going to GitHub, going through all the problem with zipping up the project and posting it up there. Somebody wants to be a jerk and do that because they don't want to say that they learned something for somebody else. I don't know. It's goofy. All right, so let's get going. Let's get this done. God bless. See you in the next video, which will probably be the same video. Alrighty, let's set up our forms first. We're going to have 3 forms in this. Open up Visual Studio. I'm still using 2019. I have whatever 2022 downloaded, but we are going to do a Windows Form app. I got it right over here. You can search for it up there if you don't. And I'm just going to name this P2P, YouTube. There we go. YouTube's tutorial. And we'll do .NET Core 3.1. You know, TCP went back a long time, so we don't have to worry about support. If you don't have the capability to go with 3.1, you should be able to do this tutorial all the way back to .NET version 1. And it keeps wanting to put it on the other screen. Thank you, Microsoft. We have one form here. I'm going to rename it. But first of all, I'm going to go to my Solution Explorer, which you put on the other screen. That one's probably my fault. And I'm just going to rename you Form. TB for Toolbar. Yes, I know. I'm renaming it. And Properties. And sorry, renamed it. Okay, I just want to... Our client and our server is actually going to be in the same application for this. They'll be in different forms. So I'm going to right click right there. And the project window opens. I have no idea why. I'm going to add another form. I'm going to call it Form Server. Really simple. We're not going to do any code this time. We're just going to set up our three forms. And then we'll add our code. And then Form Client. Alright, these are going to be just about identical. The client will be a little bit different in the end. I'm going to make you 1024 by 1024. And it's going, that's a little bit too big. Say 1024 by 900 tall. Still too big? Okay, I'm gonna make both the client and the server 1024 by that. Okay, jump over to our form TB, and we'll just say TB. It's the one that's always going to open everything. Go to the toolbox. If it's not open, go to View Toolbox. Just throw a button on here. Make it really big because we're not really going to use it a lot. Button server for the text server. Copy. And it's going to take, I don't know how Microsoft messed up a copy. It takes so long to copy something now in Windows Forms. I really think they're trying to get everyone just to quit. It's hilarious. I actually have to crash Visual Studio sometimes. It takes so long. Client. Okay, let's jump over to our server. Just button client. You can go ahead and double click on both of them to get the code in there, to get these stubs, but not really important right now. Okay. Looking at my example project, I won't get them exactly the same. So I need to go back to my toolbox. Did I close that? Yes, I did. I always close that. Label, text box, and a button. And we will be able to turn these into everything. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Our label, don't worry about renaming it, just put IP in that. And this is the IP address that we are trying to connect to for this. I am going to go ahead and really increase the size of the font. No reason not to. Would you let me resize this? No, I don't want to do any of that. There, thank you. And then I'm going to put the first button up here. I'm going to call it Button Refresh. Okay. I'll copy and paste the text box. Put it right there. And I should have copied and pasted the label also. And we're going to call this, label IP addresses, because we could have IPv4, 6, UDP. We could have all kind of different addresses over here. So I'm going to turn this one into a multi-line and just make it bigger. And I'm going to go down to scroll bar and say vertical. I want the vertical scroll bar on that. Okay, I'm going to take the, well, I didn't put the text on that one yet. So refresh basically will fill this out and get our local IP address over here. Okay, I'm going to copy these three, paste them, bring them right up here. I'm going to change IP to port. Okay. And I'm going to change this copy button to listen. 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 Get really sarcastic. Okay. And the port, of course, doesn't need to be that big. We are going to default for this tutorial to port 8000. I have no idea why I picked that. I just did. Now, these need to be named something. Server port. I renamed you. And I need, I'll copy this label in because I want the scroll bars and stuff. Pull them right up here. Make it somewhat smaller. And this is the text that we send from the server. So if we want to send a message to every client from the server, this is what we send. Copy, paste. Can't spell. Oh, can't do that. Even if this is a client also, we still want just a list of all the messages that is non-chat engine like, because we're really targeting multiplayer games, but this is a chat engine. Okay, and then we need system messages for errors and etc. You will get errors in this, and you may actually crash. I locked up one of my computers when I was developing this tutorial for you, just so you know. I literally locked up. Okay, copy the listen button, paste it back down here. Probably just freaked somebody out there. Okay. Change the new listen button to button send. And that is our server. Now, we're going to Control A and copy everything, because we're just going to do almost the same thing. I mean, very little different. But they are a little bit different. Let me get over here to wherever it's at. Okay, so number one, I'm going to pull my received over here because it's a chat engine and a lot of people could be chatting, and we want nice scroll. Port's the same, sends the same, everything else is the same. Let's get to coding. We're going to do the TB form and listen form first, then we'll do the client form.